Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me okay? I hope so. Let's crank up the volume and let's get going on this show. Let's see. Here we are in Giants Editor 6.05. I had to come in here. I've been having some issues today, and I think I know what's causing them. But I want to save this map one more time. I can't get it to appear in my game for some stupid reason. Anyhow, yesterday came across a bit of news on Farming Sim, and the editor for 7.0 is available now on the Giants Developer Network. So, figure I'll get you guys while we're waiting here. Point to this page, gdngiantsoftware.com. You gotta register for this, but you just click the downloads button and you'll have all these files. If you're familiar with it, then you know where to go. You can get the Giants Editor 7.0 64-bit download, the 7.0 GRLE converter is there, the Max exporter, the Maya exporter, the Blender exporter, and you got a Farming Sim 17 sample mod as well that are all new. So you can download those, and I did that, but right now I'm in the 6. Whoops, I don't want to close all because I got my stream going on the other side. Hi there, One Chipmunk and Mr. Sizzy. So let me see if I can get this to work this time. Mod folder switcher, new map, Farming Sim shortcut should load it up, but for some reason that new map was not appearing in my menu, and I didn't make any changes, but I did install this stupid editor, and I'm wondering now if it made any changes. See that? It's not there. Where'd it go? So I got to check a couple things and see what's going on here. Let's go to my C drive. Documents and settings not accessible. Access denied. What is happening to my computer? I didn't do anything. All I did was a Windows update. Did they screw me over? Apparently. So I may not be able to do anything here tonight, but what I really wanted to come on and tell you guys is that I am going to hold off on actually developing the map until the release because of the info that we found on FSUK with the conversion process. Windows 10, yeah, it's a Windows 10 thing. It won't let me access my own documents and settings folder. What the heck is that about? Documents. Let's see. Let me see if I can go to C. Program files. Farming Simulator. That's all there, but I need my documents. Let's see. There's so many. I gotta clean this mess up. That's what I gotta do. My games, Farming Simulator 2015, and game settings. Let me see if it's in there. See users Dave desktop new map. That's where my mod directory is. Why it's not coming up in my menu is beyond me. It should be there. Let me check to see if there's any errors with it. Unsupported mod. Oh, that's why. Okay. That's a good reason why. I was messing around with the new editor trying to see if I can import the old map, and I changed the mod description version number to the new version, and it didn't do anything. So I got to change it back. It's supposed to be 25. What I'm going to do is just give a look at where we're going to leave off with the map and explain exactly why I've decided to wait on doing anything further based on the news. So the news is, and we'll take a look at the new editor too in a minute, but the news is that you can't have foliage layers in your map. So all that we already put in, all the foliage, even what we did last week, is probably going to have to be redone. The terrain work will be able to be copied over the files, so I'm not worried about any of that, but it's pretty much as far as I want to go until we get new information on how the trains work and where I'm going to, it's hard to do too much with the terrain with all the new features that are coming in and how the animals are going to work and everything, which we just won't know until it comes out. But we have a basic terrain layout that will be sculpted and finely tuned. I really can't put any foliage layers in, so all the grass that we did and all those shrubs and all the crops that we added in probably will change. So they said in the forums that what you can do is your terrain, which we already did, and we'll be able to copy the terrain files folder over to the new map folder. And didn't I buy a vehicle? Apparently. Uh-oh. Mumble crashed. Okay. So, what the heck? There we go. All right, so I'm going to just give you a little bit of a tour. What I will probably do is work on the museum and get that ready, because it's all just objects. And we can do stuff like that. But as far as the terrain goes, I can't plant grass, I can't do fields, they're all on the terrain foliage layer. So I'll probably lose everything that I do from that point on. We know that there's probably going to be new trees, so I'm probably going to have to replace all the ones that I put in there. And we're going to want to take advantage of a lot of new stuff. So we do have a good terrain layout, though, that will be sculpted in. We'll take one more drive around it. And I'm just going to wait and see. All this grass and stuff, I'm going to have to pull it all out anyway. I don't think we'll be able to use it. So it sounds like they've completely revamped all the way the foliage layers work. And I kind of figured they might be messing with those because of the ability to have built into your map, something's going to be in there so that you can, default equipment will detect the crop types you add, as well as, let's see, what else was there? The sunflowers facing the sun, there's got to be parameters for that too as well. So at this point, this is where we're going to leave off with this. And hopefully we'll be able to restore some of the foliage layers, but I'm not sure if I will be able to, so I'm not going to mess with them anymore, because otherwise I'll just be spinning my wheels. So with tonight's show, I'm going to jump into the editor. We'll show you a little bit of what they have in there, if we find anything new. I really haven't looked at it too much myself. Later on, I'm going to stop this broadcast. I am going to switch over to a Ark Survival Evolved tutorial. Whoa! Jump right off the cliff. On how to connect your... Oh, look, I crashed already. What's weird is I can't walk. Oh, do I have it on... I have no idea why I'm not able to move. I'm stuck in the car. Exit vehicle. Anyway, let's get another vehicle. Because that one's not going anywhere. There we go. So we got the bridge over here, which might change. But we're going to do an Ark Survival Evolved, how to connect and transfer stuff to, and for single players, to and from the new Scorched Earth map. We'll do that a little bit later as well after we take a look at the new editor. And who knows? Between now and then, it's more than a month away. We got, what, another month and 10 days before Farming Sim, and I will have shows, but we'll probably just keep tabs on the other games and update you guys with what's going on with Farm Expert and what's going on with anything else that comes up in the farming industry. The specification detail, yeah, it's a lot that's gonna be changing, so we're not gonna mess with it until it comes out. But I do believe that our landscape here will be convertible over to the new when we get going, and there's a lot of land to fill in, so it's going to be a little bit of a delay. They said that you not to put any objects in your map that run scripts, which I kind of figured that out already, but stationary objects can be placed around. But to tell you the truth, we've got the trains, and that's my biggest concern, is I want to be able to get the trains in and make them very useful going to our different locations around the map, and maybe even having several train lines on there, so you have multiple trains you can offload to this one, put it on another track and go to, which I know that's a possibility, but it really, I don't know how big of steep of a hill they can climb. I don't know how they work at all, so I don't know where they're going to be able to run on the map, and we have to make sure that we can utilize them to their fullest potential. So going beyond this point on putting objects in the map is almost, could be pointless too, until I get hold of the real thing, you know? Yeah, you can't do anything with the new editor. I know, I tried last night. That's why I took some time off. I usually broadcast Tuesday, but I figured I'd check some things out, and we figured mods convert pretty well. Now, can I get out of this vehicle and walk around now? Yeah, I can. I don't know what happened to that last one, but it wasn't good. So we have lots of landscape, and I like the layout. I think it's going to be really cool. It's just where the train's going to be able to run, how many trains can I put on a map, all of that fun things, and how are the animals. Yeah, Giants editor keeps crashing for you. Do I know why? If you're using the new editor and you're trying to load a map, then that's why. But anyway, we'll get out of here, and we'll bring up the new editor and see if it has any new features. So let's close that down for now. Here's my link to Giants editor, and if you keep the old one installed, if this works. Oh, I already got it open here. Let's close this down. We're not going to do anything in the map right now, but if you click on this, you'll open up I'll open up the 7.0 editor, and you can see it says Giants editor 64-bit 7.0 untitled. Here we are, blank editor. Let's take a look at the menus and see. New mod from game and open mod, two options new there, and there's a publish mod, so that's grayed out, but it looks like you might be able to publish your mods directly from the editor to probably Giants website. I have no idea. We don't have a lot about it. New mod from game. Please make sure the Farming Simulator 17 is installed. So apparently you'll be able to import Farming Simulator mods directly in here, and then edit them, and then export them back out. I have no idea. We'll find that out. Everything else there, let's see what they have in the preferences. Show save warnings, enable update notification, logging. There's a log file for this thing. Frustum cold, only terrain, save and export. Oh, save export as wavefront OBJ. So you can save your OBJ files. I'm pretty sure you could do that before. External tools. You can have a text editor path set up, and game installation alternative paths. So I could literally point to one of my programs, let's see if I can do it with the shortcut to paint.net. Where is it? LMNOP. I can't find it. But you can actually do some editing and stuff right within the thing. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it right now. By setting up your text, a text editor path. We want the text editor we want to be, whatchamacallit? Yeah, Notepad++. So we'll link that to that. We'll be able to do the editing, probably editing of the scripts and stuff. So here we have replace, cut, copy, paste, delete, duplicate. I don't know if freeze transformations was there. And move to camera button. So let's see if I have a create camera. And now if I use the move to camera, I have no idea. Oh, that's the Control F feature. That's all. It moves to wherever the camera is. All right. Creating, same thing. They did something with the splines. I read a little bit about it. I don't know. Interactive placement of splines. They have your framed rotate. All this stuff looks the same. The biggest things are going to be, there's a create new script that was there as well. Script editor, particle editor, material editor. Let's see if there's anything new in the material editing panel here. Looks all the same. Let's see, user attributes. The mod metadata is new, but even the sample mod I loaded in doesn't have any metadata contained in it, so we'll load that in right now. Why not? See what we can do. The Dutes Agra Star will take a look at the sample mod in the editor. And it loaded up in 6.05, and I didn't want to do that. It used to tell me before oh man, is it because I have 7.0 open? There you go, 7.0. You get to select between which one you want to use. That's what normally happens. All right, so here's the sample mod. It's the Dutes Agra Star. But as you can see, with the mod metadata, it comes in empty, so it apparently doesn't have any. Icon, all grayed out. We'll see. Might be functional later. Have no idea. The debugging has a few: visualize the light grid, visualize shadow splits, visualize albedo. I know normal and alpha and text blend and parallax mapping were there. So there's some new debugging options. We'll have to figure out what exactly they are. But it has to probably do with all the new lights and shadows as well. Everything else appears to be the same. There's particle editing was, I don't know if there was particle system. Yeah, it's the same thing, lifespan. So that's all there. And other than that, there's a whole online section, community forum, getting started, but I'm pretty sure they're all just external links. If we go to the community forum, it's probably going to pop up in my browser. Yeah, right to the Giants Developer Network forum there. No big deal there. So, not a ton of new, but the biggest thing is the ability, and I am not the person to be doing this, but we're going to give it a try. Let's see if I can pick a mod from PV Rivers. And trust me, this is Big Daddy's already converted like 7 mods over. I am going to try to pick something that is simple. I don't know exactly what, but let's try a vehicle. I want a vehicle with pretty much not too much going on. Like a tractor, nothing. Let's try the go-kart. Yeah, let's try that. So if I go into the go-kart, I'll close that. I'm not buying anything. And click on the i3D, right without even unzipping, it's supposed to be able to load this in. And it doesn't show me. There it is. It's all invisible. I don't know why. It didn't load. See, he wasn't having this problem. Can't load res. Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe it's a convert. Oh, maybe I have to import it. Let's try that. Let's try an import. I should have asked him. Get him over here. Let's open up the editor. He's done several already. Of course, there's no way to test if they actually work. But he opened them right up from the zip file. And he might have imported them. Come on. Do something. Okay. Now I opened it up twice. All right. File, import. Let's go to that same folder on my desktop. And rivers. No. It doesn't show me. I guess it doesn't do. I don't know how he did it. I have no idea. I'll have to extract one to get it done. Maybe here, let me grab Jeff. I'm going to go talk to him. He's right up in the other room and see exactly what he did. Mr. Jeff, you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you said you can import a file directly from a zip file somehow? Or open a zip file in here?
Yep. Just go to open, yeah, and you see the. Oh, 1 second. You can, yeah, if you open up the editor.
Yep. And I go to open. All right, so I can't just double click on the zip file. It opened up without anything in it. You have to go do it from the editor.
No, it should. Yeah, if you yeah, you can't double click on the zip file because you have a program already associated with, most likely like a WinZip or WinRAR. So you can't just double click on it unless you change the default app that it opens with or program it opens with. So you have to open Giants Editor 7.0 and then find the zip file.
All right, because it's when I do that, it doesn't. It shows only i3D files.
Okay. I'm sorry. It's the file open mod.
Open mod. Okay.
And that's where you can select either the mod description XML or the zip file. And once you do that, it'll actually create a folder called converted. And it'll convert everything for you, the mod description of vehicle XML, any files that are already in their cloud, quote unquote cloud. The vehicle might not appear until you click on the transform group. What you have to do is update the actual shaders in it. And what I used was in the sample mod is copy those shaders over and replace the ones that are in there to get it to appear correctly.
Okay, so working directory, yeah, we'll load that up. Unpacking, and the store item is go-kart. That works. I'm doing the go-kart. Found mod from Old Farming Simulator. Upgrade files automatically using cloud service. I click yes. And
correct.
It'll make a go-kart converted. Pretty simple. Mod migration report. It has go-kart XML successful, player scroll shader, no template found, XML file copied without change. No template found, file copied without change. The shaders. So it'll need looks like a UV scroll shader, emissive light shader, a vehicle dirt shader. But it gives you a report. That's pretty cool. It does say it was successful. It just says copied without change. But they have new shaders for those. So I'm assuming even though it said it's successful, I'd have to replace those shaders. Is that what you?
Correct.
Okay. And then
And
XML.
some of them might not exist currently. Like the player one does not exist. The only one I know of that I found and I had very good success with was the emissive light shader, as well as the vehicle shader currently, and it seems to work good.
Yep. And Lua copy file copied without change. And no template found XML file copied without change for the number shader. So you can save the report, but there's our go-kart. See, now when I do it without unzipping, I don't have the textures on the mod. Did you notice that?
That has to do with the shader.
Is that with the shader? Oh, is that why it's
Yep.
doing it? Because the shaders are off.
Correct.
So if
Yep.
I
Yeah.
replace those shaders, then... So basically, it just... Did it have a... I should have on my desktop a converted directory? Or do I have to save something?
Wherever that original zip file is located, it'll automatically create it in the same location. You can adjust when you convert it where you want to
Right.
save.
All right, so if I go to my Rivers folder, I should have the go-kart. I got a go-kart zip, but I do not see, unless... Oh, there it is, go-kart converted. So there we have the go-kart converted files, and I just need to grab the shaders that I can from the sample mod, I believe.
Correct.
We have the emissive light and the number shader, but I don't have the vehicle shader dirt. So I'll replace those two.
Yep. Do that, and you might need the vehicle shader if you copy it down and rename it to vehicle shader dirt. It should work as well.
Well, I'll do that.
Because if you don't do that one, it'll still be invisible. That's the critical one, believe it or not.
Well, I'm gonna...
Because
Yep.
things with dirt need that vehicle shader. That's why when we were talking last night when I was converting the Volvo, that's not that we didn't make diable. It'll do it. It'll do it fine. The Kenworth that we had in V2 will work just fine because they don't have the vehicle shader that has dirt, that has the color mask in it, etc.
Yep. Dirt needs to be with a capital D. It did that automatically for me. All right, let's see now if I close this down, because
Now,
we're...
one more thing too.
Yep.
Give me a sec. I don't know if it was included in. Yeah, it is. You need to make sure to copy the shared folder in the Farming Simulator 17 sample mod. There's a shared folder that refers to all the vehicle shader .xml. So basically, that shared folder needs to be in the main folder with the mod description, etc. of that vehicle. Then it'll appear. Then it'll, because otherwise it'll tell you that you're probably missing the PNG files, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's what it just said. Let me
Okay.
copy that shared folder over to
Yep.
here.
Yep, into the main folder, the upmost one with a mod description and a vehicle XML in it.
Got it. And warning, I only have warning. i3D library contains non-binary index triangle sets. Whatever that is.
There's some things out there. Yeah, like I said, it still might have a warning. And again, it's just gonna come. I have to figure out how to fix those. But with as new as it is, it's tough to find any good information. They should be okay now, right? Does it appear for you?
Yep, everything's in there now. So it's actually relatively easy because it gives you that little thingamabob there ahead of time. Tells you how to do it. Some of them are going to be easier than others, but let's take a look. I want to take a look now. I'm going to jump out of... I'll jump back down. I didn't want to bother you, but I needed your help.
No worries, anytime.
I shall return maybe if I need you again.
Yeah, one more thing. Let me think here. I just had a thought. When you open, make sure to open, if you're streaming, the mod description and also the vehicle XML, both of those, one at a time. This will show you, it'll tell you what it changed, what it didn't change.
That's exactly what I was going
Okay.
to do next. Yep, and then I'm going to move on and we'll do an ARC show a little bit later on how to connect your Scorched Earth to your other game in single player. But thanks.
No problem. Anytime.
He's working on his bowling arm while drinking a beer in the other one. All right, so like he was saying, and that's exactly what I wanted to do, is I'm going to open up the Go-Kart XML because we ran this. This is all the stuff that's been run through the converter. You can see that they highlight all this stuff that's been and the changes. So it says debug copy of unchanged element. Annotation has been unchanged. Debug skipped obsolete element, which was name. It's now obsolete, the name field. And this is the Go-Kart i3D copy of unchanged element. It's highlighted in the brackets. And then it's search the template for element wheels. And then it tells you what hasn't been changed. It's really quite cool what it does here. Debug copy of a lot of unchanged elements, and I do notice that if it and by the way, Meesman 1982, thank you for the host. If there was any major things that needed to be changed manually, it would probably list it in here or in the error report as well. See, it's telling you that it's looking for template for element brake lights, debug copy of unchanged element. So search template. There are no turn lights, there are no beacon lights on here. If we did something more in depth, it would probably tell you more fancy stuff, but ours has none. This is where you get to decide if you want to add them in yourself. There will be some editing to get some of the new features, especially the lights. There's a lot of new lights in the game, but it goes through and it tells you exactly what it did, all annotated in the green, down through and this is the vehicle XML, the Go-Kart XML. So that's pretty cool. I wish they could do that for maps. Now, notice that the stored data is now stored right here in the vehicle XML, no longer in the mod description XML. And it name go-kart, functions, specs, 40 power, image, that links to the stored EDS, no big deal there. But it adds in a lifetime, which you can alter. The go-kart has a lifetime of 600, which is in hours. So that's a new feature, the lifetime of a vehicle, because you're going to have a workshop. You're going to have to go and repair your vehicles with all that fun stuff. So new lifetime. Rotation is just the rotation that's placed on the map, I think. I'm not sure. And the brands are all going to be capitalized. They have to be in this new version. And yeah, there's a lot of confusing stuff, but the fact that it handles all of this, and you guys all are familiar with Giants the way it is now. I mean, some of my own brands, I capitalized one and then I didn't capitalize the other, or the capital first letter D, so I end up with 3 categories for my own mods within the game. Well, they actually set a pretty specific, everything for the brand name has to be all caps or it won't work. Therefore, you won't have duplicate categories anymore for brands. So it automatically took care of that. 112 Tech, and it will automatically add a brand if it isn't found from the other file as well. Let's take a look at the mod description file as well. And same thing pretty much. Search template for element version 1.0.0. The author might be where it got the brand from. I don't know if the brand was in here or not. We'll have to see. The description is there. Icon file name, they left that in here as well, even though it's now in the other file. So, and then the L10N entries are all there. The question is, did it strip out the store information. Yes, it did. It actually took it right out of here. So specialization, changeable parts. I think that's a new one. Changeable parts. It's changeable parts Lewis script. And then, because this wouldn't have changeable parts in it. Oh, unless it allows you to do the wheels or stuff. I mean, there's going to be so much. It removed a specialization indoor HUD, so apparently there's something different for that. Will not use the indoor HUD specialization anymore. But just a simple, very simple conversion. I can try one more and see what happens. We'll do something a little bit more difficult just for one more run through and see what happens here. So we open up now that we've kind of had Big Daddy's help, I want to see if I can do this part on my own. You guys could actually start grabbing some of your favorite mods, and you don't have to worry about our stuff. We're pretty much trying to convert everything and have it ready for when release goes, but you never know. So you might have something that you want to give a try, and at least you can start doing some of them. Ones that don't run a lot of special scripts seem to be... Did I click that, or what's going on? All right, now I'll probably open it twice again. So it would be File, Open Mod, and let's go to something... I'm going to go to my box trailer just because it has so many fill types in it, and see what happens. When we click Open, and it tells us where the working directory is, and then we're going to output it to store item PV17 box trailer i3D. Found mods from Farming Simulator upgrade. Yeah, we're going to upgrade to the converted. And there we have an error, unable to convert file box trailer XML. So this one here, and thank you there, Bravo Chick, for the host as well. This one here did not convert the box trailer XML file, probably because of all the specialties, but the mod description upgraded successfully, and the textures did not find the shader dirt again. Let me try another one. So we have no XML file with that one. You're going to run into ones that won't convert. I kind of figured that one's pretty specialized. That's going to be fun. Very fun when we have to figure out why things didn't convert. Let me take a look and see if there was a report in the mod itself. Here, let me leave that window open. Stay open. Let's see, box trailer converted. Here's the box trailer XML. And fill sound, that's blanked out. Alright, so it didn't do anything, but it copied... It's all the fill planes, look at them all. It copied the old one right over. So it did put the old one, it just never converted it. Interestingly enough, there's probably going to be several changes that will need to be made in that one. Let me try doing something that's not quite as... Oh wait. Not quite as difficult. And Race Zero, thank you for the host as well. Let's try one more here. Something that is not... Let's try... I don't know. Let's try the Cat 773 E. Nah, the G. Because E had the crummy fill planes. So let's try that. I don't want to... Thing was never properly converted from the last... Whoops, wrong file. You got to go to File, Open Mod, and Cat... Oh, actually, let's try the 980H. Yeah, the loader. That we've had around for a long time. And just click through. It has several scripts but it says here XML successful, no template, particle, color shader, scripts, Lua file copied without change, XML upgrade. So lots of successfuls. That's what I like to see. Now, there we have the cat loader. It's still using the old light sources and everything. So those are things that you would have to change on your own if you were to do more than just a regular conversion. The regular conversion in this appears to, we have a few errors down here. Get reflection color text, no matching overload function found. I mean, could not parse GSL program. Invalid cooking data for, yeah, there's a ton of warnings in here. Invalid convex data. So some of them are going to take a little more work, but a lot of those will have to do with the shaders and stuff. And the specialization scripts. We could take a look at that Cat 980. And it's running a Gravel Lua, the Godet Lua, and this Belchung version 31 Lua script in it. I guarantee you that at least this one, the lighting probably will be replaced, because that has, I think, to do with lighting. Is that what it is? The components. People will be making new versions of these to get them right. The beacon lights are in there. We're just going to have to wait on some of these till they come out with the new Lua scripts, if the Lua scripts won't work right out of the bag. That's pretty much the way it's going to be. But as far as the, let's take a look at the XML file for the vehicle. Skipped obsolete. Okay, nothing really. Unchanged elements. Lots of unchanged. And skipped. Skipped. Debug search template for attached sound. Most of them are copied unchanged elements. Nothing out of the ordinary. Error, no template for element attacher joints. So it did throw an error in here. There was no attempt, but attacher joints have changed as well. I'm not very familiar with those, but there's new attachment type things. So chances are some of the stuff will easily be sorted out once it's released. What you do if you have that no template for attacher joints, you probably have to add a whole new attacher joint. Notice the fill units here. That's a new field, and it added it automatically. Unit liter short. I wonder if we can change it to like gallons. No, I don't know. Quarts. Fill type category is bulk, and the capacity is 25,000. So these fill type categories are going to index. That's what they're going to use in the map as well. They're going to probably be an index of what is a bulk product, and what is, I don't know what the other categories are, the fill type categories, but bulk means pretty much anything that crops and all those things. So down the road, I think that our fill units will just have to match what the map fill units tell that the product is, and we should be good. And hopefully everything else. And then I put the store item info down here. Lifetime is always defaulted, I guess, to 600 hours, no matter what the deal is. So the mod description XML file on that one. Unchanged elements, everything copies over. It actually, right here, it greened out the script, the Godet and the Gravel Luas, so they're not active. So because it couldn't copy them, it actually highlighted them out. So it probably will save you the error when running it, but also whatever those scripts did, the functions aren't going to be on there until we get updated scripts for those two things. So Very interesting. That's their way of doing things. Hey. So yeah, mod conversion, I think you're going to end up being very sporadic. Some of them, like Big Daddy's found 7, he knows a lot more than that. Maybe he'll do a show on mod conversion once it comes out too. I'm sure he will. But it's should be pretty straightforward. And as they, because it's a cloud service, the whole mod conversion thing, they are going to probably be able to update it with common things as well on the fly without us having to update. If they find a script or they can put up a converted one that they can replace it with, they might just load it up into their cloud converter and it will take care of that issue. Let's see. I wanted to try just a standard tractors like the New Holland loader. Not no. Let's see. What's the New Holland pack? I want to open that. And here, because there's several pieces in there, you can see it gives you the whole list. You can choose which one you want. And we're going to do the CR1090. So when you're doing it right from the zip file, you gotta, if there's more than one mod in there, you can actually select everything here successful, and we'll have a lot of shaders and stuff. It looks like shared scroll shaders. So we gotta wait till most of these shaders come out, the dirt shaders and everything. And you can save the report to right to the same folder if you wanted to. New Holland pack converted. We'll save the log text report so you can check it out later. And then you would drag the shaders over. We would grab all 3 of these and put it into our shaders file, and it'll solve a lot of the problems. And as they get more shaders and stuff, then we will be able to do much more. And there is no shaders folder in here, so we'll just copy the whole shaders. Where are the shaders located? I think they have to be in the same place. And CWI98, thank you for the host as well. Where are we putting our shaders in this thing? Right in here. That's where they are. So if we replace those 3 with the new shaders, we don't have them all, but we have a few of them anyway. That should cut down most of our errors. And interestingly enough, it brought the 1290 into the converted folder. Huh. So you might have to convert them both individually, but there we go. And we have some invalid convex cooking for traffic collision shape. I don't have a clue what any of those are going to do. We're going to, hopefully Giants will have a list, and we obviously have something going on with the white lights or whatever they are back there. But hopefully Giants will, they're mirrors, I guess. It looks like it's an object up there that looks like it might be a mirror that didn't come in right. It's probably just a shader again. Hopefully Giants will have more detail on how to fix these warnings too that pop up for people, and the little issues once they release the game, because otherwise I think it's going to be quite tricky. So what the heck is that object? It's a corona. The coronas obviously have changed, and just removing those, we probably would want to put new lights on this vehicle anyway, because all the lighting is changed. They don't use coronas, I don't believe, anymore. So we could delete them, put the new light sources. A lot of that stuff is going to have to be done manually. I'm not going to get into it because I'm not going to be converting many mods because I'm going to be working on too much map stuff. I'm going to leave that to Big Daddy. Anyhow, like I said before, it was going to be a pretty short show because I'm not going to go too much. I'm not going to go much further until we get the Giants, the new game released. So I'm not backtracking and redoing everything I did. I will say that from what I understand, what we will end up doing is going into the new map. Whoops, my clicking is a little bit out of whack here today. All right, my mouse button's going. I got to get a new one before I have to edit this whole map. From what I understand, we'll be taking the default map, and what we will be able to do is grab all of our Map01 folder, which includes our terrain textures and our density files for all that stuff, and it includes our GRLE files so that it'll grab all the terrain height data and stuff, and we'll be able to copy that whole Map01 folder right into the new map, and the terrain will change. But we have another issue. It's a 4x map, so we have to wait until we get someone to expand the 4x map, which usually is done relatively quick. Somebody will have a 4x map ready, template ready, and I can just drop the terrain data over and then start piecing everything back together. The fun will begin. So with that being said, what I'm going to do for the next bit is I'm going to actually pause really quick just so I can get a different file, the stream, and it's going to come back on, so you guys may have to refresh it. But I want to do that. I'm going to change the title to Ark Survival Evolved, and I'm going to do a single player tutorial on how to transfer stuff between your island map and Scorched Earth and back, and I'm talking you can even bring your creatures over to Scorched Earth from the island. You can bring your items over and everything else with a few simple settings. So just 1 minute so I can get another file going here, and it will be back on. That'll make it so much easier to post a tutorial separate up on YouTube. So be right back in just a minute.